All right. Well, this man remembered that I actually was a social worker for many years. He's one of the few listeners who knows the history of the man behind the voice. I am the only person in the major media who actually worked at so many important professions where I actually know reality. I don't just read, some websites. I was a social worker on the Upper West Side of New York. I can tell you some stories one day, maybe today, maybe tomorrow, maybe another day. What I learned, it started to turn me from being a wild-eyed, progressive, liberal kind of kid. My father hated me for it. He thought I was insane, which I was. It was temporary insanity. I went to Queens College. My brain was being washed by commie professors who fled Europe. I came here, and the first thing he did was brainwash us. I came up with ideas that my father wanted to throw me through a window for what I was saying. He knew I was crazy. It was a temporary insanity. But I thought he was wrong for being so harsh. And he would say to me, don't worry about it. You'll learn one day. You'll find out what your ideas will bring you. I can hear him to this day. But, in many ways, we're still our fathers, no matter what we think. We are our fathers. We're our fathers. No matter how we try to not be our fathers, we become our fathers. Do you know that? That's something I want to talk about one day. For men only, which is not a political thing. It's maybe a psychological thing. Let's say you had a father you didn't like because he was too harsh on you. Well, let's say you had a father you didn't like because he was too weak. Let's take two types. The weak father and the overly strong father. So the overly strong, chastising father usually produces a son who's a rebel, who says, I'm not going to let him get to me. I'm going to be stronger than he thinks I am. And he becomes strong like his father. And then he becomes just like his father to his own children. Even though he said he wouldn't, he becomes in essence his father who's overbearing on his own children. Then you have the weakling father, where the mother wears the pants in the family, as we used to say before the gender insanity infected America's psyche. And the weak father usually produces a rebellious son as well. And you remember the movie Rebel Without a Cause with James Dean, the great movie, even if you didn't have to live through that time period. It was so well staged where the character played by James Dean came from a home in Los Angeles, middle class. The father wore an apron in one of the scenes. He was doing the dishes. And James Dean used to plead with his father to be a man. All he wanted was his father to be a man, not a kind of a weakling kind of guy. His father was sweet and nice. I actually wished I had a father like him. When I watched that movie, I wish to God my father put on an apron and washed the dishes once in a while and was nicer than me, but he didn't. But that character, played by his father, who was a beautiful, nice man who was trying to be nice to his son, produced the rebel. Remember the movie Rebel Without a Cause? The son rebelled against the weak father. I don't know, this has nothing to do with ISIS talking about female sex slaves or the organized invasion of Europe and America by refugees promulgated by none other than George Soros, who in my opinion is an international war criminal. And if I really could go into the details of what he's doing to the world, you will see that he's one of the most evil geniuses that has ever lived, who has nothing but malice in his heart, in my estimation.